Hey guys, welcome back to another tournament preview with Miles and myself. We are at the Potomac River, stop number 5. What do you think, Miles?
I don't know what to think. I mean, I think that this fishery is a lot of fun and can be like phenomenal. But one thing I've definitely learned in practice, and I've definitely heard it, coming into this tournament, because I really don't have any experience out here on this part of the river. At least I fished up in DC once for the All-American back in 2012, but only got to fish that region. So that's a completely different part of the river. Where we're at, mostly grass fishing, things like that. You can fish hard targets too, but I think we're mostly targeting them in the grass. But one thing I heard a lot during my research was, you could fish through the mother lode, and at the wrong tide, you'd never even know there's a fish there. And I definitely feel like I felt that this week.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. I mean, we were just talking about how you could have a spot and fish through the spot, and maybe catch one. You can leave, 5 other guys will hit the spot. You can come back right after they've all left and catch 20 fish. And it's just a timing deal. But for me, it's been a tough practice so far. I mean, I've got a handful of areas that I am confident have fish. I don't know that any of them have a large school of fish. They're all kind of spots you gotta fish around and hope you get a handful of bites. Right now I feel like if you can get 10 bites during the day, I think you'll have 12 plus pounds.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me in practice, I actually caught quite a few fish. Like, I felt like the bite was pretty good if you're around them. But the thing for me is my biggest fish was 3 pounds, which really concerns me, because it's not like I'm catching a lot of threes either. I think I caught 2 or 3 3-pounders during practice, and you really need those like 2 3/4, 3-pounder average to do real well in this tournament. I don't know what it's going to take to make the top 50 cut, but that's obviously where we want to aim. But
what do you think, guess-wise?
I'm going to say 12 and a half a day to make the top 50 cut. It just seems like the average size is way down. You're going to have plenty of guys that catch big bags. There's a lot of big fish out there. Supposedly, I haven't seen any, but this is too good of a fishery for there not to be a handful of guys that end up crushing that 16 to 18 pound bag because their timing got right. And if you get your timing off, I mean, you could come in with 8 or 9 pounds easy, because we do have a 12-inch minimum, which is tiny.
Yeah, but are you catching 12 inchers?
Catching some 12 inchers.
I've seen a few, but it's going to be an event where you got to catch them 2 days in a row. And I think weight-wise, I think 12 and a half gets you to fish day 3. And it could be less than that. It wouldn't
could
surprise.
Be more.
It could go either way. Historically, this place, 12 pounds is a really good number to get a check. Last time we were here, it was like 14, but it fished really, really good. I don't expect that to happen. The grass is, in my experience, this is my 4th time being here. The grass is by far the worst I've ever seen.
So you think? So you mentioned that the last time you were here, it took 14 a day. So this is fishing different than it did during your practice back then, right?
Well, I only got a half day of practice because I had some motor troubles that I had to get repaired. But even with a half day of practice, I still had no trouble catching 12 pounds a day.
Oh, really?
But I finished 110th or something. So yes. I mean, from what I've seen in the past, you can come here and pretty consistently get bites. I couldn't do that this time.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of dead water, I thought.
Yeah. I felt so too, but I don't have experience here. A lot of the areas that I fished just look good to me and got bit there. And us combined, we've probably got, a dozen areas that are holding multiple fish. So if you get the timing right, and you happen to, and the thing is, like, if you get too anxious to get to a spot and you hit it at the wrong time, you can totally mess up your rotation. That's going to be one thing that I'm going to struggle with, because you always want to get to the juice, you know, where you had the most success. But really, that success was probably because of timing more than anything, you know, when you fished it. And so I don't know. I do feel like it's fishing a little bit stingier. You know, everybody that is talking about their practice is pretty much saying that it's tougher, but that's to be expected, you know, with people talking about practice.
This is historically a place where everybody complains.
Yeah.
And then last place has 20 pounds.
Yeah, and I don't think people are lying either. I honestly think that you need to get into an area, lean on them, and that's when you figure out, you know, what's there.
I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
I hope it's the handful of spots I have, you can go in there. You know, I had 1 or 2 bites and then I leave. And it took a while to get 1 or 2 bites. So I'm not expecting it to be every cast by any means, but you know, if you're gonna, you found a spot with 1 or 2 fish, and then you might fish and practice for 3 more hours without a bite.
Right.
And then you get 1 or 2 bites, and then you know, you go throughout the day, you really don't have that many bites. But in the tournament time, once you've settled down, you might find that you catch 15 fish out of 1 spot.
Right.
And that's what happens here. I don't know. I'm nervously optimistic, I guess is how I would say it.
Right.
Like, I could see it going either direction at this point.
Yeah. But I think we put ourselves around fish. It's just there's a little bit of luck that's involved with getting on the timing right, you know. And some of these areas we just haven't even scratched the surface. Like, we may have fished an area that just looks good that we never figured out as far as you know, when the fish are there and willing to bite. So I think it's going to take 12 and a half to make the top 50 cut. I think that if you're in that 15 and a half, 15 and 3/4 range, you can make the top 10.
If you do that for 4 days.
What do you think it's going to take for the top 10 after the third
day
day?
3? Probably 45 pounds.
So yeah, 15. Yeah.
This is it's really tough to be consistent here with 15 plus pound bags.
Oh, 100%. And we don't have that great of a tide for a lot of what guys are doing. You know, especially the first 2 days, you got a very narrow window of that low tide, and then the rest of the day it's pretty much rising.
Yeah.
You know, which is, it doesn't really bother me, because I feel like a lot of the areas that I'm fishing, you know, are actually good on the rising tide. But I don't know.
Well, that's what we practice for.
Right.
I mean, that's what we had during practice. So I'm very much more about just fishing the conditions versus trying to run the tide and plan around the tide. I don't know, guys. We'll see what happens. Anything else to add?
That's it. Follow both of our YouTube channels. Subscribe to both of us, whichever one you're seeing this on. Go to the other if you feel like it. Yeah, just follow us. MajorLeagueFishing.com. They're going to have all the live leaderboard, all the live galleries, and then of course Saturday and Sunday they're doing live video coverage, which hopefully both of us will be in the top 5.
That would be nice.
That would be so awesome.
That would be nice.
That'd be so cool. And so yeah, just follow us, and that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. And thanks to Battleborn for sponsoring these tournament previews, these pro circuit previews throughout the season. So yeah, big shout out to Battleborn.
More importantly, they keep us running on the water.
Right.